The next item is Dr. Rhonda Smith has got this session is really focused on kids and big mamas and modern mamas and kids and nutrition. So Dr. Rhonda is homeschooling, and she was homeschooling before everybody else was homeschooling, and she is an amazing mom, and is doing some amazing things with her kids and nutrition, and a lot of other people in our community. So, Dr. Rhonda, it is your show.
All right. Thank you so much, Moselle. I appreciate that. I'll dive right into it with my 5 minutes. All right. What's the connection among fast food, obesity, and a dialysis clinic? Now, you can put the answers in the chat because I'm sure some of you may have already thought about this. But if you said that fast food restaurants are one of the greatest contributors to the obesity crisis and the proliferation of dialysis clinics, you would be correct. In fact, there are more dialysis clinics in the city of Detroit than there are McDonald's restaurants. We can change all of these crazy health statistics that are plaguing our communities, particularly we are seeing with our children, by laying a strong foundation of nutrition for them. Now, the handout that Katrina put on the screen, you all received 2. I am not going over these 2. I had so much information, but I wanted to give you those handouts so you could have additional information. But I'm going to dive in with some other issues today. About half of the children in the United States are obese. About half. It's like 41% is the statistic. And even more of those are in the Hispanic and African American communities. And we find this to be the case because we know we have food deserts. Families oftentimes get their foods from gas stations and convenience stores like Family Dollar. Yeah. And many tend to shop at these stores, not trying to get high quality things because they aren't always offered, but they follow the SAD diet, the standard American diet, because that's what's available, that's what's convenient, or they haven't been taught any better. In addition to the obesity crisis, these poor dietary habits cause other health problems like ADHD and kidney dialysis. In fact, there are children in Detroit as young as 14 who are on dialysis. Yes, all of this is because of poor nutrition. Now, a lot of times the kids are misdiagnosed with ADHD because it really has to do with poor nutrition. The neurotoxins that are deliberately put in foods like potato chips, Doritos, these are chemicals known as excitotoxins. They excite the palate. They make things taste good. Yes, MSG is an excitotoxin, so it excites your taste buds, but it also excites your brain, causing your brain to fire off rapidly and causing you to have the neurons just to go off in your body, not making the neural pathway connections that are necessary for your brain to send and receive messages between your spinal cord in your central nervous system. So too often when you get this overstimulation, you have neuron death. And if you don't have those neurons there, those cells, they cannot connect passages in your brain. So we have issues with children having negative sleep impacts, immunity problems, emotional problems, and their puberty is disrupted. So what can we do? stay away from the crap, okay? Look at the sheet. It's an acronym for crap. But we want to do what we're doing on this program, looking at the whole foods and making sure that they are plant strong, looking for what we call the 4 pillars of health, the 4 pillars of health. Whole foods, making sure they're plant strong, choosing healthy fats, and making sure that you are getting nutrient dense foods. These are the things to put on the inside of you. But there are also things from the outside, what I like to call outside nutrients. Now, we know nutrients are those things that we get primarily from the food, but the definition of nourishment means anything that the body can receive that can cause it to grow. So yes, it's primarily food, but the children need to also get outside so that they can get nourishment from the sun, to generate that vitamin D inside of them, that they can get their hands in the dirt, to get the dirt microbiome. The makeup of the dirt helps our bodies to develop very well, and to get fresh air, to breathe in oxygen, because we know that oxygen helps to carry nutrients throughout our bodies. Too many of our children are sedentary, and so we need to do those things. Even though starting a foundation with the children begins in the womb, some of us did not do that, and it's not too late. We can always begin again. So lay a foundation again by introducing new habits to them, because it takes about 2 weeks for new neural pathways to connect in the brain with a new food. So it doesn't take that long. Get your children involved. That's the third thing, by teaching them about nutrition, helping them to grow nutritious foods, by having a garden or joining the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network Warriors Program, Food Warriors Program. They teach them about food and they cook food, and have your children cook food. And finally, you continue as you're doing here by modeling good habits for your children and your grandchildren. Can you just imagine if all the people on here would take just one child to help them to develop good nutritional habits, to get rid of the neurotoxins in their body, what our community would look like in terms of the thinking that will be clear, the foods that will make them strong, and that they can be warriors for our community. I have set before you today life and death. I hope that you choose life, because our children and our entire community are counting on you. Thank you.
Amen, Dr. Rhonda. That was beautiful. We needed that in a 30-minute segment.
Right, exactly.
You just put in so many amazing things.